Hey YouTube, it's Grawlys. Just doing this video as a showcase for one of the units that I've done for my Beltan Eldar army. So you can see on the screen we've got a wave Serpent. So I'll just go and describe what it is that I did when I was painting it. Obviously the basic green and white colour scheme. But the thing that I like about this is down this side here. I like the vine pattern that I've managed to do. And so I know traditionally it's big bold waves all over the hull of the vehicle, but I've just kept my vines coming from a point just near the engine cowling and curving round, and I've tried to give it a natural feel, almost as if the vine is growing along the side of the hull. Now it's only along one side, it's not along the other side, so it makes it a little bit more distinctive. On the other side of the front hull is just the Beltan symbol, and again up at the top just the Beltan symbol up there. Now I'll reset and I'll try and show you some close-up detail of the gemstones and the inside of the cockpit. I'll be back once I've reset the video. Okay, we're back with a close-up now, so should be able to see. There's a bit of glare from the light on there, but the gemstones here and here, doing them the traditional way, doing them in a very dark red all over, and then gradually mixing it into an orange colour down at the bottom, but graduating layer by layer until you've just got a tiny strip on the bottom corner. Because when you're looking at crystals, and I know a lot of you have watched me build the terrain pieces for Nick and for the Salamanders army, they're actually real crystals, and the light does reflect and refract and reflect through the crystal. So if the light source is at the top here, actually it looks like the darkest part of the crystal is at the top, and the light reflects through and emits out the bottom of the crystal, which is why the bottom of the crystal is always lighter. So you always need to be aware of where your light source is. So in this instance it's coming in from this kind of angle on all the crystals, so the darker bit is at the top, just as a tiny dot, so you can't really see because of the glare of the light on the surface, but there's a tiny dot of white just to mimic the light reflecting back through and out the point of origin. So those are the crystals. Notice all the grooves, they've all had a wash to darken it, to make all the panels of the vehicle just stand out a little bit more. And I'm just going to reset the camera again, and I'll hopefully be able to get you a view of it inside the cockpit. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, we're back with more of a macro view at the top of the cockpit. So let's just show you. I'm having all this in my hand, so I'll try and keep it as steady as I can. Show you the pilot. So the visor I decided to do as a mithril silver, but to give it a tint of colour like you would do on a real pilot's visor, is to use Griffin sepia, just to give it that golden kind of tint. So hopefully the camera picks that up just as a very fine tint on there. And if I angle it around a little bit without trying to lose focus too much, I'll try and pick up the detail of the cockpit itself. So there's his like his heads-up display, his targeters and combat display. So he'll be able to see on his monitor there, and there's a little dot of white just reflecting the light off there. Again, that's blended from a dark blue around the top and the left hand edge to a paler blue in the opposite corner. So hopefully you can see those details there. And Just some of the smaller bits of detail on the vines. So the shading on the engine ports there. If you look underneath, there's the veins at the bottom. When I just did them white, they didn't really stand out very well, so I actually did them as a grey colour and did a wash on there to give a little bit of depth in the recesses there, but that makes that stand out really well on the side there. So we shall come back, because what I'm going to do in addition to this is show you how I actually paint the vines. So I'm just going to again reset the camera. I'll come back with a little demonstration of how I do vines, so hopefully that will inspire you to be creative when you're doing Belt and Eldar as well. So I'll be back in again in just a moment. Okay, here's a sheet of paper I prepared earlier, true Blue Peter style for those of you in the UK that'll know what I'm going on about. So this is the it's not green, just as a base colour. That's the base that I use for the majority of the vehicles. And what I'm doing, I'm just taking a dark grey. This is Sharonite granite, just as an instance, but any dark grey will do. And it's about finding a point of origin. So let's start as a point there. So that's where your vine's going to start. When a vine grows, it doesn't grow in straight lines. It doesn't just grow in a squiggly line. It actually grows and overlaps and has branches. So here's the main branch, and it'll taper out to a point. What we'll then have is maybe a branch coming from here. No, it won't stick out straight, it'll grow in a natural wave shape, so it'll grow that way, but then maybe it'll overlap a little bit. We'll just get a little bit more paint on there, just continue that down into another wave, and that goes a little bit further than the previous one, so you can see shapes starting to form already. Maybe we've got another branch that comes from this point, and that will come round and maybe overlap the both before tailing off to a point. But then we've also got some small branches that we need to do. So let's just have a little branch there. Let's have another one that comes off here. Maybe that's the long one that goes to the point. So we've got a rough, you can expand more, you can do more branches, you can do less branches, it's entirely up to you. But that gives you your basic flowing pattern. Now, these aren't just branches, they're thorns, so you need small triangles. Try and alternate and fill in the spaces with a few thorns. Now near the tips, they'll actually be quite small. Where it's a big solid branch at the back here, you'll have bigger thorns. So I'll just put a few in. I'm not going to fill the whole line, because I just want to give you an impression of how you should do it. So we've just got 2 or 3 thorns on there. So I'll just clean my brush, and what we're going to do now is move on to the highlight colour. That in itself looks okay, but I like to give it a little bit of definition and come back with a pale grey. So I'm just going to move on to a finer brush for this one. So let me get a decent brush ready. Hang on. I should have prepared it earlier, I should have had this one ready for you. I'm trying to find the right size brush now. Hang on. This one will do. So what we're coming now is I'm actually going to use in Fortress Grey. it's any pale grey, doesn't have to be fortress grey. And again, a lot of it is on preference on what you want to achieve, what you want it to look like. So that should have dried by now, so just wet my brush. Come in for some paint. And this is a finer brush that I'm using now. You've got to realise there's light going to be hitting this, just like there is with the gems. So I'm going to decide the light, just for illustration purposes, is going to come from that direction. So I need to highlight that edge of everything. And also, we need to be aware that where the vines cross, where the branches cross, we don't want a crisscross line. We want to actually make it look like it's going above or underneath. So let's start at this edge. So just very finely, just follow the edge of the vine, and getting it back to that point where it's talking and painting at the same time. So Mrs. Grawlys over the other side of the room watching me, and she knows I can't multitask. It's a bloke thing. She frequently reminds me, don't you, dear? There you go, there's Mrs. Grawlys in the background. So let's just carry on doing these. Now, when we get to that...
You are very lucky doing this painting while I'm sat here.
I am very lucky doing while Mrs. Grawlys here as well. Normally it's when she's out of the way, when she's going shopping or when she's gone to her friends for a brew, that's when I get... Okay, we're back after a minor technical difficulties. The batteries ran out on my camera. Hey, that'll teach me for checking my battery levels before I start making videos. So we're back with fresh batteries, and as I was just about to demonstrate before, so we'll just get some more paint on the brush. The light, we've already said the light's coming from this direction. So when you look at the thorn, this side of the thorn is facing away from the light, so you only need on one edge of the thorn. Now this one, I want this branch to be going over the top of the one below it, so we will take that over there. Now, to make it look like it's going above, we don't carry this line on through. We start from that point there and we carry on down that edge. As I said, this is a little bit thick, but you could do a much finer job off camera rather than trying to do it on camera. This is just an example of how you would do it. And again, the light on just one side of the thorn. Try and keep that consistent as well, so it looks like the light is there. So we're actually changing the light. Rather than that, it's slightly that direction now. It's just a slight angle. And we carry on to the edge. Now, that one's going over the top of that one, so I want it to go underneath that one. So I'll stop that at that point, give space for the other vine coming over, and carry on the line right to the edge. Now as you get to the tip, again, come to a fine point. This one, we've gone underneath there, so we'll go over the top of that one. So I'm quite happy to go right past that point there. When we're coming off this one, again, we're keeping all the light on the top. Now don't forget, once you've done this yourself, oh, stop, because it goes underneath, you'll have a lot more thorns on your pattern. You just got to remember to do the light on there. And again, with that one, that little branch will come down, keeping the light all on the top of the thorn. Now we decided that one was going to go over the top, so quite happy to go past that point. Paint's drying out. Yeah, a touch more. You can figure we're only doing tiny little bits of with paint. We're not flooding the thing. And just a tiny little thing on there. So you get the idea of how that one works. Let's do a couple more.
Ew.
That ooh was Mrs. Grawlys looking under the settee, looking for some beads she's just dropped. So I think everybody has dust devils and things under their settees. And Mrs. Grawlys is going to kill me when she gets off the video, because I've just told everybody on YouTube land that we've got a dirt under the settee.
Hold on a minute. Who hoovered the floor?
Who hoovered the floor? I hoovered the floor. I missed under the settee. It's my fault. But I'm quite willing to accept that. So just these last couple of things here, we'll keep the light on just the one side there, and there we go. There's a quick Eldar vine design, and on all my vehicles I do that the same. Just clean the brush before the paint dries. I like looking after my brushes. That's a nice little set of Kalinskis that help me paint. I'd rather have Kalinskis rather than the Citadel brushes. They're a lot finer, they last a lot longer. So that's the bit, little quick how-to on painting Eldar vine. So I hope you enjoyed that little segment, and I'll be back in a short while. Okay, back with a final little look at the overall finished model. I'll just zoom out slightly. There we go. So you can just get a finished look, the overall model. So I'd love your thoughts and comments. And so I've got lots more Eldar to showcase for you, and I've got quite a few that are work in progress and still need to start to be painted. So I've got lots more Eldar goodness to show you all. I'm also going to do next one. I've got some Rangers to show you. I think I'll do the Rangers, and I've got an avatar to see you, to show for you. I've also got a craft project that I'm going to show you how to do, and I'm going to have to go out into the lair itself, because that's where some of my buildings are stored, and I'll show you some buildings as well. So hopefully lots of variety, lots of things we can do. Hopefully you like what you're seeing. Give the video a like, leave a comment. If you really like me, give us a subscribe. I'd appreciate that. I'll be back soon with more videos and more content from Grawlys Lair. Take care. Bye bye now.